The cowboys and kids got up at dawn and went out to gather cattle. They're having a big calf working today, and I'm gonna deliver a big hearty breakfast. I'm making biscuits and gravy. The cowboys absolutely love it. I'm making black pepper and sage biscuits just to give them a little twist. I'm making a whole lot of biscuits, so it starts with 6 cups of flour. I love these 2-cup measures. It's like dipping a saucepan into the flour bin, but it's really handy. All right, just shake that. Okay, now to the flour, I'll add 2/3 a cup of powdered milk. I love using powdered milk when I make biscuits. It helps with the flavor, but it also gives it a really nice consistency. Okay, 2/3. Okay, next is 2 heaping tablespoons of baking powder. I love heaping tablespoons because you don't have to level them off. Okay, and then 2 tablespoons of sugar. A heaping tablespoon of cream of tartar, essential biscuit ingredient. And then a tablespoon of salt. A lot of white things in this biscuit dough. Getting ready to change that though. I thought it'd be fun to add some coarse black pepper to the biscuits. Of course, cowboys love black pepper. I've established that. And the gravy's gonna have plenty of pepper, but I thought giving the biscuits a little peppery edge would be nice. And now 2 teaspoons of ground sage. The sausage I'm using to make the gravy has a little bit of sage in it, so this ties the two together, and it gives the biscuits just a really nice savory flavor. Yummy. Okay, now I'll just whisk these together, just get them all combined. That sage smells so good. Okay, now I have 2 sticks of cold butter, and I cut it into pieces. I'll just throw it in. And then a cup of shortening. The butter gives flavor, but the shortening really makes for a nice biscuit dough. Now I'm gonna cut the dry ingredients into the butter and shortening. All I need is a pastry cutter, some upper body strength, and a little perseverance. Okay, I finally got it all cut together. I think I need a nap now. Okay, the final ingredient is 3 cups of buttermilk, and I'll just drizzle it in as I stir it. And it's gonna be just enough to bring the dough all together. I'm actually gonna bake the biscuits in iron skillets and just take the iron skillets with me. They're really great because they're durable, you can't break them, and I don't have to worry about putting them into another dish that I'll have to clean later. I'm always thinking ahead. This should make 16 good-sized biscuits. The perfect number. All right, I'll stir it around. I just want to get it all combined. I don't want to overmix it. You want the biscuits to be light and fluffy. Okay, that's all mixed together. It's still crumbly, but pretty moist too. So I'll just turn this out onto the board. And then I don't like to use a rolling pin for biscuits. I like to use my trusty old hands. So I'll just press it into a big circle. I like the top to sort of have an uneven, lumpy texture. Makes them look rustic. Okay, that looks about right. It's a good inch thick. Now I've got my biscuit cutter. I'll just cut around. All right. Now I've got biscuits to cut and skillets to fill. Okay, the last thing I'm gonna do before I pop the biscuits in the oven is just brush the tops with some melted butter. The butter just adds a little extra richness, a little extra flavor. Not that they really need it, but a little extra butter never hurt anybody. Okay, just get the tops brushed. These biscuits look divine. I see the little specks of black pepper, just lovely. Okay, the biscuits are gonna bake in a 450-degree oven for about 15 minutes or so until they're just starting to get nice and golden brown. They are gonna be so divine. And while I'm here, I'm gonna crank up the oven temp on the potatoes to 500, and I'll let those go while the biscuits are baking. That'll help them get nice and sizzly, a little more brown. All right, the crew's gotta be hungry by now. They are gonna love this breakfast. After getting up at the crack of dawn and working all morning, there is nothing like a home-cooked breakfast served off the back of a pickup truck. To go with the biscuits I've got in the oven, I'm making a big batch of sausage gravy. Biscuits and gravy is a cowboy favorite. It's pretty much in their DNA. Everybody absolutely loves it. All right, I've got 2 pounds of breakfast sausage, and I just tore it into small pieces, threw it in a big skillet, and I'm just browning it up, and I'll use this to make the gravy. This gravy is so wonderful. It's really creamy and really thick, and it has little chunks of sausage all throughout. So, so good. So now I'll sprinkle in a little flour. I'll start with about 1/3 cup, and I'm just gonna make the gravy right on the top of the sausage. A lot of times when I make sausage gravy, I'll fry patties of sausage, take it out of the skillet, and then use the grease to make the gravy. But I love this method because you just keep it all in the skillet. It's a lot less work. Okay, now I'll stir this in. I want the flour just to completely coat the sausage, sort of becomes one, and I'll stir it around. It's always been a little difficult for me to give an exact recipe for gravy because there's so much eyeballing that's required. I just sort of look at it, and if it seems like it needs a little more flour, I just sprinkle it in. Okay, this looks perfect. The flour has pretty much disappeared into the sausage. So I'll grab the milk. I'm using whole milk just to make it extra rich and creamy. I'm gonna start with a good 5 or 6 cups. I used quite a bit of flour, so it's gonna thicken up. Stir it around. Now I'm gonna turn up the heat a little bit and let this start bubbling away. I really predict not a drop of this is gonna be left. The gravy is gorgeously thick. It looks just perfect, so I'm gonna season it up. I'll just add a little bit of salt. I don't wanna add too much until I have a chance to taste it. Plenty of black pepper. There's a lot of pepper in this meal. And then just a little bit of seasoned salt to give it extra flavor. Now I'll stir that around. It looks unbelievably wonderful. I could eat it by the spoonful. Okay, I don't want the gravy to get too thick because it's gonna be a little while before I get it out to the guys. All right, I'm just gonna let this simmer, and I'm gonna go check on the potatoes and biscuits. Oh, they look awesome. They smell awesome. This kitchen is filled with some yummy smells right now. Okay, now the iron skillets are gonna keep these pretty warm, so I'm just gonna cover them with tea towels, and they'll be all ready to go to the pens. The guys are having a big calf working this morning. Lad and the kids and the cowboys are all down at the pens. I've just got one more thing to make for the big breakfast delivery, spicy scrambled eggs. I just cracked 30 eggs into this pitcher, and boy are my arms tired. I'm just gonna give them a little whisk. Now, I'm gonna get some butter into the skillet so it can start melting. I've got the skillet over medium-low heat. I'll just swirl the butter around. Now to the eggs, I'll add about a cup of half and half. Now, this is a lot of eggs, so please don't be alarmed at this sight. It's a lot of half and half. But I love the combination of eggs and half. I think it makes the most perfect scrambled eggs. Okay, now the eggs need plenty of salt and pepper. And then the thing that gives these eggs a nice little spicy edge, I like to add several dashes of hot sauce. My brother-in-law, Tim, loves hot sauce on his scrambled eggs. So I'm gonna put them in his scrambled eggs. He's gonna love them. Not too much, just enough to add a nice tang. Now I'll get that all whipped, and then I'll just pour the eggs right into the skillet. I want to cook the eggs kind of low and slow. It'll take about 10 to 12 minutes to cook them. I'll babysit them a little bit, just stir them from time to time, make sure they're not sticking to the bottom of the pan. These are already looking marvelous. Okay, the eggs are absolutely perfect. I'm gonna turn off the heat. The scrambled eggs are ready, the gravy's done, the potatoes and biscuits are done. I'm gonna head to the pens.